Oh, okay, folks, we're back on part 2 of this video. We have a little hard time with the videoing because, well, we tend to hit buttons that we're not supposed to. I'm guilty of it like a champ. So anyway, it might end up being a couple videos for this paella. So just bear with us, okay? Right now, what we did is we put salt and pepper on this pork, and we just got this temperature turned up. We're going to sear it up real good. We're not trying to cook it all the way through, just for a simple fact that we're going to put it inside and it's going to continue to cook inside the paella. Now what we're going to do is, we've got that going pretty good. We're going to add a little smoked paprika in there. Alright. Now, a little Tony Zachary's. All you who follow the Black Sox Chef know I almost swear by Tony Zachary's there. So, now we're going to let this brown up just a little bit more. And when we come back, we'll be adding chicken. We'll be putting chicken down. We'll remove this from the pan and put the chicken in. One, hit it. Okay, folks, now we've got the pot emptied. And we just added the chicken to the pan. As you can see, we pulled the juices and put it on this side because we don't want to use a whole bunch of olive oil because we're going to be cooking on such a high heat. And when olive oil is heated to a high temperature, it actually becomes carcinogenic. So all of you who are watching this video, remember that. Don't use olive oil when you're making this dish, because you can get yourself in a little bit of trouble. As you see, we're adding our salt and pepper. We're getting it seasoned up. Once again, a little more salt. We're going to hit it with our Tony Zachary's. Alright, then we're going to get our smoked paprika on here. Like so. Now we got this started, what I'm also going to do now is I'm going to stir it down. Once again, nice high heat. We're cooking on a gas stove, so we're cooking on, not a high heat, but between 3 and 4. Usually on this gas stove, I usually cook around 2. So it's a little higher temperature here. And we're going to let that cook. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to move over to this next pan. And in this next pan, we're going to go ahead and get our mushrooms and onions started. So we're going to add all that in here. And as we move forward, you'll see we're going to get these veggies going really good. We're going to turn this one up also to between 3 and 4. Because again, we want to cook on a little higher heat. Now, homeboy James up there in Maryland, this is for you, homie. I got a garlic press for Christmas, folks. So we're going to take some fresh garlic, put in our press. And we're going to get this garlic going in here. As you see, we'll do that. Get some more garlic in there, in our garlic press. Nice fresh garlic. Right in there. Blow this, have this thing tasting real good. Now, I must warn you, you're going to have your house smelling delicious. So if you're good about keeping your windows open, you might have some neighbors come over knocking. So, I'm glad none of you live close to my house. I don't want you knocking on my door. Alright, so, got all this garlic in here. Alright, now, I'm going to take these jalapenos and add in there also. Give it a little spice. Like I said, with a paella, you can kind of make things, add, take away what you see fit in your paella. So now I'm just going to take my little stirring apparatus here and just kind of spread everything down so everything's getting heat. And when we come back, we will have gotten the chicken where we want it. We're going to let this this little mixture here marinating together for probably a good 10 to 12 minutes before we add anything to it. Alright folks, as you can see, we moved the pan over to this other eye, but just because the burner is a little bit wider, so we get more even heat across it. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to add a little paprika. We're going to go ahead and add a can of diced tomatoes, petite diced tomatoes actually. We're not going to drain the juice, but then you'll see why in a few minutes. We're going to go ahead and add 2 of these small cans of tomato sauce. We're going to add some carrots in here. Just because the carrots take so long to kind of get in a good cooked state, we're adding them in this early. Now, some paellas, you'll see recipes, they don't have carrots in the recipes. But like I said, paella is something that you do for you. You do for your family. So, I'm going to get these carrots in here. I'm good to go with that. And we're going to add the peppers in. Now what I did was, I just diced up some yellow and red peppers. I'm going to get down here to get some of these yellow ones in here. Add a little color. At the very end, we're going to add some green English peas. At the very end of everything. Okay. Looks like we got a good amount there. Now we're going to let this cook for another 10 to 12 minutes. And then we'll start adding more ingredients. So see you in 10 to 12. Okay folks, we're back. We've been running a little bit here. Now I'm just going to stir this down a little bit. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add our paella rice. What we're going to do is, and this goes back to what I was saying about not draining the juice off of your tomatoes. So that way you can get your paella rice in there and get it started. Again, every so often, as we add, we flavor. So we're going to cover that with some Tony Zachary's, like so. Now we pretty much got it salted pretty well. Because if you remember, we salted the meats too. So paella, sometimes you like it really spicy. You want to add some peppers, maybe some spicy peppers. You can do all that stuff. Again, paella is something you kind of make for yourself. Come up with your own kind of recipe. Use your own base. Use a base and then come up with your own recipe. Now we're going to stir this rice in. And then we're going to let this cook for a good 10 minutes or so. And then we're going to start adding in some more parts to this delicious looking meal. Now you can't smell this, but you're going to have your kitchen stinking pretty good. So, see you in 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, now I want you guys to see this. As I'm doing this paella, as you can see, it's starting to get a little dry down there in the bottom. You have to continually check this because you don't want it to stick too bad at the very beginning. Now you know you want to get the little crunchy thing at the very end, as what paella is known for. So what I'm going to do now, under normal conditions, you know, super big time chefs, they won't do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add the frozen peas, because the frozen peas are going to release liquid, and it's going to help keep our paella from sticking at the bottom. So we'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, our pan is starting to get a little full, so we've been you're gonna have to be really careful here as you add your sausage and adjust it. And again, like I said, you know, adjust the menu as you see fit, what fits your family. I went a little big just because, well, that's how I do things. So I'm gonna get this sausage in here. If you notice, I'm stirring gently. Now it's starting to stick a little bit. You can feel it down there at the bottom getting that crust. So we want to get that sausage in there. And what I'm gonna do is, as I see it sticking, you'll see I'm gonna add a little water. Okay. Now I'm gonna gently stir because you don't want everything popping out of your pan here. But you gotta stir it around. Get that. Be careful, this thing can get really hot. I'm gonna turn this down to about 3 now. Now this is my first time making paella, so my students in Miss, hopefully I'll say her name right. I substitute taught at Miss Fessler's class, her Spanish class, and the Spanish students were talking about different Spanish cuisines. So I decided we were going to try our hand at paella, and we were going to put it on the Black Sock Chef channel so folks can see it. All right, now I think we've got it good and set up here. So we're going to add a little of this chicken and pork concoction that we got going on. Add a little more of that. All right, and then we're going to let this simmer down. We're going to stir it in just like this, and we will be back. Okay, folks, we're about done with this homemade paella. All right, and what we're going to do now is we're going to make sure we got it all set. I'm going to turn it all the way down to low now because we've got a good crust going at the bottom. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to add in some green onions right on the top here, like so. We're going to add in some parsley. And as we discussed in our class, saffron. Now we're not going to use a lot of it. It's going to take a couple pinches. Bailey, Mr. Bailey, you're going to be all excited because I just mentioned you on this. But to all my students, remember what Mr. Speed says. Don't be late to class. Don't talk when I'm talking. Everything else takes care of itself. Now we got our saffron in. We're going to let this simmer for 5 minutes, and we'll be ready to eat. And when we come back, we'll show you what it looks like in a bowl. Okay, folks. Now we're going to show you what it looks like. We're going to ladle this out right into a bowl. A little slotted spoon there. Make sure we pull from the bottom to the top. And all you gotta do is enjoy now. This is Black Sock Chef signing off. Made some paella.